Blood Moon Rising, the Curse of Crimson Hollow. In a small, forgotten town called Crimson Hollow, nestled deep within the dense woods, a sinister secret lay buried beneath the pale moonlight. A curse that had plagued the town for centuries, an evil that had become part of its very foundation. The townsfolk lived in perpetual fear, for they knew that when the blood moon rose, the vampires would return. Crimson Hollow, shrouded in mist and mystery, was a place where time seemed to stand still. The cobblestone streets were lined with ancient oak trees, their gnarled branches casting eerie shadows on the worn facades of centuries-old buildings. The townspeople rarely ventured out after dark, and those who did so with a crucifix clutched tightly in their trembling hands. The legend of Crimson Hollow told of a cursed nobleman named Lord Sebastian Drackle. He and his bride, Lady Isabella, had once ruled over the town with a benevolent hand. But on their wedding night, a blood pact with a malevolent force turned them into creatures of the night. The pact granted them eternal life, but at a terrible cost. They could only survive by feasting on the blood of the living. As the centuries passed, Lord Sebastian and Lady Isabella turned others into vampires to create a coven that would terrorize the town forever. The curse had spread like wildfire, and the once prosperous town had dwindled to a mere shadow of its former self. A group of brave and desperate townsfolk, led by a fearless young woman named Sarah, had made it their mission to uncover the truth and put an end to the curse. Armed with ancient texts and the knowledge passed down through generations, they were determined to find a way to break the vampires' hold on Crimson Hollow. The night was dark, and the town was quiet as the blood moon began its ascent. Its eerie red glow bathed the streets in an otherworldly light. The townspeople locked their doors and shuttered their windows, knowing that the vampires would soon be on the prowl. As the clock struck midnight, Lord Sebastian and Lady Isabella emerged from their crypt beneath the town square. Their eyes glowed crimson in the moonlight as they set out on their hunt for fresh blood. The coven followed closely behind, their fangs glistening in anticipation. Sarah and her group of vampire hunters had prepared for this night for months. They had discovered an ancient incantation that could weaken the vampires temporarily, giving them a chance to strike. Armed with stakes, holy water, and their unwavering determination, they approached the town square. A fierce battle ensued in the town square as Sarah and her group confronted the vampires. The air was thick with tension as the hunters recited the incantation, causing the vampires to writhe in pain. But Lord Sebastian and Lady Isabella were not so easily defeated, and the coven fought back with a ferocity that sent shivers down the spines of the hunters. In the chaos, some of the hunters fell victim to the vampires' deadly fangs. The ground ran red with blood as the battle raged on. Sarah, wounded but determined, faced off against Lord Sebastian in a final, desperate showdown. As the first rays of dawn broke through the horizon, Sarah managed to drive a wooden stake through Lord Sebastian's heart, ending his cursed existence. Lady Isabella, filled with grief, fled into the shadows, vowing revenge on the town that had taken her love from her. With Lord Sebastian defeated, the curse that had plagued Crimson Hollow for centuries began to lift. The remaining vampires, weakened by the incantation, retreated into the darkness, never to be seen again. The town was finally free from the shadow of the blood moon. Crimson Hollow slowly began to rebuild, and Sarah became a legend in her own right. She was hailed as the savior of the town, the one who had broken the curse and restored peace to their lives. But the memory of that fateful night haunted her, and she knew that Lady Isabella would one day return. Years passed, and Crimson Hollow prospered once more. But on the anniversary of Lord Sebastian's defeat, the blood moon rose once again, casting its ominous glow over the town. Sarah, now older and wiser, stood ready, knowing that the battle was far from over. As the moon bathed Crimson Hollow in its eerie light, a lone figure emerged from the shadows. It was Lady Isabella, her eyes still filled with a burning hunger for revenge. The town held its breath, for they knew that the curse of Crimson Hollow was not so easily broken, and the true horror had only just begun.